Hi, I'm Gaz. On today's video, I thought I'd tell you all about my trip to the Philippines. So stay tuned to the latest episode of the G-Log.
Meet radio and television personality Gaz Reynolds, the founder of World Domination Records and Great Drive Driving School. Like, comment and subscribe to be part of the journey. This is Gaz Reynolds, the G-Log.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the G-Log. So today I thought I'd make a video about my trip to the Philippines. It was something that all started off with a dream, strangely enough, because it's a very unusual story. Now, I have actually done a video about how I married my wife in the Philippines, but it was all based on a dream that I actually had, and this is honestly true. I do actually have these dreams that actually come true. It's strange, but it does happen. Anyway, I had a dream that I was going to marry an oriental looking woman, and that turned out to be my wife, and she turned out to be in the Philippines. Very strange, but it was through meeting somebody here that I actually met my wife in the Philippines. Long story. So let me start at the beginning. So 2.5 years ago, I started talking to my wife online. She wasn't my wife then, obviously. We were just friends, and then we were just talking via Facebook. Then we started going on to Facebook Messenger, and we both realised that we had very similar sense of humour and ideas. And then I realised that she was the woman that I'd actually had a dream about before I'd actually even knew who she was. And the dream told me that I was supposed to marry her. So the next thing I found, within a couple of months of speaking to her online, I was actually flying to the Philippines, and to cut a long story short, we ended up getting married. Very, very strange. Now, unfortunately, my wife's still in the Philippines, and I'm here in London in the UK. Hopefully she'll be here soon. There was a whole load of things that happened that sort of caused delays and etc. Now, the weird thing is, when I came back from the Philippines, that's when my Filipino story really kicked off, because what happened is the press picked up on my wedding in the Philippines, and suddenly all of this press coverage happened. Well, you can imagine that went viral, and so it was pretty big news. Well, the next thing that I decided to do was release an album called The Wedding Album, which is on worldwide sale now. Make sure you purchase it from iTunes, Apple Music and all major outlets. Plug. Anyway, yeah, so going back to the story of how I actually found the Philippines itself. Well, when I got there, it was because I went to Cebu, which is where my wife lives, and I'd never been to the Philippines before, so I honestly did not know what to expect. I don't even think I'd actually met a Filipino until, or if I had, then I hadn't realised they were Filipinos in the UK. So my finding was, when I got to the Philippines, my wife was incredibly friendly, and so were all of her friends and family. And our wedding in particular was very colourful, because we had a lot of ladyboys at the wedding. In fact, my wife's friend actually did her makeup, and as you can see here, did a really good job. So we actually got married at our hotel right by the pool, which was exciting in itself. And we had an amazing sort of party afterwards, with all kinds of food. There was so much food, you know, I must have put on about God knows how many stone, but that was another thing. But anyway, yeah, so I found the weather amazing, people friendly, food lovely. I have to admit, I wasn't that keen on some of the Filipino food. Me, I'm a bit of a fussy eater, so I preferred sort of more the American foods. And now the good thing about the Philippines is, because it's quite American influenced as well. In fact, actually, the way I describe the Philippines is it's like an Asian America. That's how I described it. It's full of Americans, and very Americanized. So of course you've got your McDonald's and KFC, and there's a fast food restaurant there which my wife loves but I can't stand, called Jollibee, and I didn't like any of the food in there. But I loved McDonald's, and I remember the first day when I arrived in Cebu with my wife and I decided to go out for breakfast, and we went to McDonald's. Oh my god, the best pancake breakfast ever. Now that is my favourite breakfast, American pancakes. So of course out in the Philippines I ended up putting on a lot of weight. Well, I haven't actually got it off yet. Yeah, food wise, absolutely amazing. Weather, be prepared if you're going to the Philippines, be prepared for very, very hot weather. Now the UK is really suffering at the moment. We're having extreme heat waves at the moment, and really the weather that we're having here, I would say, is close to what you would get in the Philippines from 5 o'clock in the morning. There were some days when my wife and I just spent the whole day in the swimming pool at our hotel because it was just too hot to go anywhere. But because we don't get much sun in the UK, or well, with the exception of this year where we've had loads, I really liked the fact that it was sunny and warm all day long. Now in Cebu itself I felt totally safe, but we did actually go to Manila as well, because we had to get our marriage license. Now there, Manila is a completely different kettle of fish altogether. I found Manila quite dangerous for tourists, and it is quite well publicised, but to be quite honest with you, like I said, I didn't know anything about the Philippines, and I think my wife was sort of carried away with all the excitement, so she probably forgot to tell me how dangerous Manila can actually be, to the point of where we were staying in one hotel and there were gangs waiting for the tourists outside. And I remember on our first day in Manila, we were walking down the road, my wife and I, and literally this gang came from nowhere and they had all kinds of weapons on them, but luckily some lady boys that were in a hair salon nearby, they actually called us in to their hair salon, and then they locked the door, and then the police came and they rounded up some of the gang members, so we were lucky there. Some of my friends have actually told me that they know people who have been killed in Manila or even lost arms and other limbs because they had handbags and things and they would just cut them off. Now whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I have to admit I've heard a lot of stories like that, and I'm sorry if you're Filipino living in Manila and you feel offended by that, because that's not my intention. I'm just telling my story. So my overall opinion of, because I only went to Cebu and Manila, I did travel around to some islands, and I'll cover them in another video in the future, but I actually found the whole culture just amazing. It's not really the sort of place where I feel I would want to live, partly because of the economy out there and the fact that I am so English. I like travelling, but I really like my home comforts in the UK. However, I did feel very at home in the Philippines, and my wife's family made me feel very at home. All the hotels that we stayed at, I found them very pleasant. Overall service was very good in the hotels and restaurants. However, a couple of times we did come across a few sort of, well, what I'd call lazy staff. However, you could find that in any country. Shopping malls, absolutely amazing. I've never seen shopping malls like what they have in the Philippines. They're absolutely amazing. The only thing is, I think that the shopping malls are actually catering for rich foreigners, really, tourists that are coming over, because I don't think the average Filipino could really afford to shop in those places. But you can have an amazing day out just in a shopping mall in the Philippines. It's just amazing stuff. So my overall experience of the Philippines was amazing, and if you're ever thinking about going to the Philippines, I would highly recommend it. Before I end today's video, I would like to remind you that the G-Log album is now out on pre-order on iTunes and Apple Music. Also, if you'd like to help me out and support the channel, I have now got a Patreon page, which the link is provided down below, and I also have an affiliate program with the very cool service PROMOLTA, which promotes your videos online. You will get 1,000 free views for signing up. So that's my story about the Philippines. I'll probably make more videos about the Philippines, but if you're interested in these types of videos, please comment down below and let me know, because I'm making videos that I like making, but I want to know that my viewers are also enjoying them. So I'd love to hear from you. If you have enjoyed today's video, then please like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.
Out now, Gaz Reynolds' new album, The Wedding Album, as featured on Big Review TV and Radio Harrow. Available at iTunes and all major outlets worldwide.